What's up, everybody? Back here with another video. Man, I gotta film this whole intro again. We got jets flying around making all types of ruckus. But let's get to today's video. Today's video, I think I'm just gonna cover removing the plastics. So I've been, battling with myself on how far I wanna go with this bike. One side of me wants to redo everything, paint the frame, new plastics, go freaking like all out with it. And the other part of me, the more sensible part, knows that, if I end up doing that, this has a great tendency of just ending up in a corner and collecting dust. So I think for this project, I think what I want to do is possibly just work on slapping the parts that I got on here, just putting those parts on there, and that's it. Maybe I might paint the fairings. I hate painting, so I don't know if I'll touch on that. But for this video, to keep it nice and short, I think I'm just going to cover removing the plastics. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so here we have the bike. I may have cheated a little bit and kind of already removed some of the bolts, but I'm just going to kind of show you where they are in the bike. So you have two up top by the tank. This one right here, that one right there, and then you have two down in there. See that one down in there? That's three. And on this side, you have number 4, and then if you go back to the tail, which in my case, I have this little contraction here that I could need to take off, but if you look back in here, there's 1, 2. So to get all this off, there's essentially 6 bolts. Those 2, these 2, and then 2 right on the inside of the tank there. And yeah, once you have those 6 bolts off, this whole thing comes off pretty easily. So now let's move to the tank. The tank has 2 bolts. One up top, if you can see, I already took that one off. And this one right here. So let me go ahead and remove this last one, and then I'll, take the tank off. All right, I'm back. So I took off the last bolt. I said there was 2. And now the tank comes right off. So now the next thing to take off is this engine. I don't know what you want to call this. It's like a fake motor. It's a battery cover. Pretty much all the electronics are in there. And this cover, protects it. So this thing has a couple Allen bolts. This is, and some normal Phillips heads, as you can see. There's 2 Phillips right there on the side. Then there's an Allen bolt right there, an Allen bolt right here. Then I want to say right at the bottom, there's 2 more Phillips heads. See, you can see them right there. This thing is kind of a pain in the ass to take off and put back on, but let me go ahead and do that, and I can show you what it looks like when you take it off. All right, guys, I'm back. I've taken off the 6 bolts there. These bolts are rather long. Let me show them to you. This is what they look like. The 4 Allen heads look like that. And then these are these are the 4 Phillips. And then you have these 2 Allen. Probably one of the most annoying things about taking this bike apart is the different sizes of Allen keys that you need. I might go to Ace Hardware and just, finding replacement bolts that just fit, and I can just use one tool to do all this stuff. And then once you take that off, the plastic, boom, just comes off like this. This part comes off pretty easily, but let me move the camera and show you the other side. So here's the other side. This plastic comes right off, but as you can see, this has a lot of the electrical connections. Mainly the on and off switch, and that's the OEM battery charger, which I don't use, but I still keep it plugged in. And so what you do is you kind of just undo this one, and then you undo this bad boy, and I think there's one more. You undo this one, and there you go. Now this part is off. You can't really mess these up because these connectors only connect one way when it comes to these guys. They're made that way, so you don't really have to take note of that because it's pretty simple. And as you can see, this is my current bike setup right now. That's a 32 volt. I forgot how many amp hours that thing is. Does it say it on the battery? No, but I'll tell you what. That battery replaces the 3 that it came with, and it runs longer and better than the 3 that came with this thing stock. So yeah, this is currently my setup now. I know this video was mostly about taking apart the plastics, but now that I have this off, I kind of want to show you some of the stuff I did here. What I did is I 3D printed these little spacers here so I can use the OEM bracket. But all this stuff is probably going to go away to fit the bigger battery because that other battery is pretty big. So a lot of this stuff is probably have to get out of there. But let's get back to the plastics. One pro tip on the plastics I want to mention is you'll see there's these little nylon lock bolts here. And see, there's 1 there, 2, and then over here you got 3, 4. And as you can see, that one popped out. And this is probably one of the most annoying things about taking this bike apart and putting it back together is these bolts popping out. So the pro tip I want to give you is I super glued these back together or in there. So when you take this apart, these guys will get lost easily if you don't account for them. But prior to putting everything back together, I like to put a drop of super glue in there so that way these things stay in place. I think I might have missed this guy, I don't know. It's been a while, but yeah, man, a little drop of super glue in there to keep these, so that way when you're putting everything back together, it's not gonna be a pain in the butt and those things aren't gonna keep popping out. Man, and as I was talking about those damn bolts, I've already lost 2 of them. I thought I had them super glued, but I lost 2 of them, and good luck to me finding those things. So I might have to go to Ace just to pick up some new nylon lock bolts. But yeah, that's why I like to glue them in there. Now let's take off this number plate thing here. This thing's a little annoying because you got to like run all the wires through it before you put it on. But there's 1 Allen bolt up there. And then the annoying thing is to take off the other part of the number plate, which also coincides with that fairing, is you need a wrench for a bolt that is located right there. See that bolt right there? That takes off the bottom portion of that, and that holds this front fairing on. Unscrew this bad boy. There we go. So it is off, and now, boom. Here's a little bracket holding that off. This pops off, fairing off, and now this thing's loose. And yeah, for the most part, all the plastics have been removed. Well guys, there we have it. Like I said, I wanted to keep this video short and sweet, so we're just concentrating on removing the plastics. As you can see, it's just a couple bolts, but you're gonna need arrangement of Allen wrenches. So I mean, this right here, these are just to take off the plastics. 1, 2, 3, 4 different Allen wrench sizes, which I'll post in the description. And I need an adjustable wrench. I don't really know. It was a little bit, that bolt for this portion right here is a little bit smaller than a 10 millimeter. I don't know what size it is. Maybe I'll put that in the description also. But for the most part, yeah, you're gonna need some Allen wrenches, and you're gonna need a Phillips head, and you're gonna need either an adjustable wrench or some sort of, what do they call them, a spanner, to hold the bolt right here that holds that fairing on. But yeah, for the most part, plastics are all off. This is what she looks like. She's naked. So as you can see, if you haven't taken your plastics off before, you're gonna have, you know, 1, 2, 3 batteries. This is the controller. This guy right here, you won't have this. This is a volt. This drops the voltage down to 12 volts. I put this on here because I was gonna add lights. Here's a little switch for the lights, but I haven't done that yet. So there we go. Bike's naked. Next part is to, you know, possibly start removing the rest of the electronics here and cutting some stuff off so I can fit the batteries and the other controllers. But that's for another video. Like I said, today was just to cover removing the plastics. Hopefully that was helpful. And yeah, for the most part, I am done with today's video. Like always, thank you for watching. Peace.